lot of fun on Wednesday.
Hump day.
Because we're going to talk some bad crap about the RNC
like
today.
we don't already.
Yeah, we are. About the Republican National Committee and Ronna McDaniels and everything that's going on over there in Vegas.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We've been talking about corruption all week. We've talked about it in our court systems. We've talked about it in our law enforcement. We've talked about corruption on the border with our federal enforcement.
The judges.
The Democrat Party. Everybody. And we have saved the best for last.
The best for last. I think this is going to be our last corruption of the week. I'm not really for sure, but, you know, we do talk about a lot of corruption. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there'll be more corruption happen today, I guarantee you.
Yep. And then we'll probably have day 4 tomorrow, but today is day 3.
They can't stop with corruption.
No, because I think that's all they do anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, but James and I are going to spend a little bit of time on this topic. We're only going to do the one topic today because we need to bring this information to you for your help because we need to fix the Republican Party.
Yep.
Because we, you know, as Maga, Make America Great Again, has pretty much taken over the Republican Party. And the other wing of the party is fighting it tooth and nail. Like, they don't want anything to do with Make America Great Again, and I just don't get it.
See, and that's something that I was sitting here listening to this. That's something that I wanted to point out because you say that MAGA, we're not that Republican Party, and we're not that party at all.
No.
That's the really thing that people don't understand is we're about this country and making this country great again. We're not about propping our government up to be our nanny state, or when it all boils down, there's corruption everywhere across the board. And when we talk about the RNC, when we talk about the Republican Party, when we talk about the Democrat Party, all of that's lumped into the same bowl.
It is. It's all the same. So one and the same. It's what we call the Uniparty. So we talked about the shadow party of the Democrats that they have going on that, you know, are forcing their, I guess, moderates to go along with the progressives. So we kind of have the same thing going on in the Republican Party.
And here you got Nikki Haley, who is literally working with the Democrat Party openly,
yes,
to defeat
Donald
President Trump.
That's right. So it's always a psyop of some sort going on. But we're going to talk about Ronna McDaniels, and we have been fighting this battle with her for 3 years now, 4 years.
Longer than that, probably.
Yes, because we didn't want her elected when she got elected. And ever since then, we've been trying to get her out.
Based on her record.
Yes, based on her record. You know, the record that she continues to blame on MAGA and Donald Trump, when honestly, it's all her. It's all on her. She is the head of the Republican National Committee.
Yep.
So if we lose, it's your fault, Ronna, not ours, not Donald Trump's. It's your fault because you didn't bring the party together.
Right.
And you continue over and over to split us up. But here we go. We're going to start.
And we are bringing her up because of the fact that the RNC has been in some financial trouble since at least last year. They've been in financial trouble. What did we learn earlier in the year, back in during the summer of last year? It's like a $15 million windfall.
Oh, yeah. The people have stopped donating to the RNC.
Don't donate to the RNC.
Do not donate to them. You donate specifically to the candidates that you want to be your representative, because we don't want the RNC to pick our representatives any longer like they have been over the past. We don't want that.
No, we're tired of that. We are sick and tired of that. And talking about their finances and talking about how that this party has dropped because of the fact that the people are beginning to understand.
Yes.
And they won't give their money to the RNC.
Right.
You know. here's an article from the Washington Post, and this was back November 27th of last year, talking about their finances. So we understand they had the $15 million windfall earlier in the year. This Washington Post article goes on to talk about it. It says the Republican Party's finances are increasingly worrisome to party members, advisors to former President Donald Trump, and other operatives involved in the 2024 election effort, according to 10 people familiar with this matter. The RNC disclosed that it had $9.1 million in cash on hand as of October 30th, the lowest amount for the RNC in any Federal Election Commission report since February of 2015.
Yeah.
This compares with about $20 million at the same point in the 2016 election cycle, and listen to this, and about a $61 million 4 years ago when President Trump was in the White House. So we can see how far that we have begun to see the Ronna McDaniel's performance, Ronna McDaniel's results, and the people have begun to see this, and they know that sending your money to the RNC, you might as well throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Going
because
down
you're
the
not
road.
going to get elected. I mean, the RNC, anyway, you go out there and you see these people that are getting elected, but you don't see the RNC right behind them, giving them money, helping them out.
No, and
where are they? Where are they? No, they're out here spending $250,000 on limos over a year.
Wow.
You know, and Uber and all that, and they're still spending at that same level.
Yeah. Well, and here's a good point to bring up. We talk about their $9.1 million cash on hand and how that they literally in 4 years went from a $61 million cash on hand down to 9.1. Let's compare this in contrast with the Democrat National Committee. They reported having about, and this was as of October 30th, they reported having $17.7 million cash on hand, almost twice as much as the Republican Party with 1 year left before the election. This was in October 30th.
Right.
Tennessee RNC member Oscar Brock, he said it's a revenue problem. We're going through the same efforts we always go through to raise money, the same donor meetings, retreats, digital advertising, direct mail. But the return is much lower this year. If you know the answer, I'd love to know it.
Really? He doesn't know the answer? Doesn't the fact that
disconnected that's how disconnected and blind that they are to what's going on. They choose to ignore
the grassroots, because the grassroots are the ones that told them, that person right there, that we did not want Ronna McDaniel. We wanted who?
Harmeet Dillon.
Harmeet Dillon. And they didn't listen to any of it.
Or Scott Presler.
Or they didn't even try to get anybody else.
They won't even hire Scott Presler.
They let Ronna McDaniel go and cry to every one of those people. Oh, please, I'm going to do it. No, what you're doing is standing against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And obviously the donors that you wanted to get money from, obviously they know also that you're standing against Donald Trump. Well, guess who's the front runner for the nominee of the President of the United States right now? Donald Trump.
You bet.
And he's not bringing any money into the RNC. You know why? Because it's all going to him.
That's exactly right. Because the last time that the money went to the RNC, they literally campaigned against him and his candidates. Yes. The ones that he endorsed, Maga candidates, they.
Well, let me tell you what the real grassroots feel. And we have a video, a clip that we're going to play for you from Patti Lyman,
who is the RNC committee woman from the state of Virginia.
Spending has not changed any in a year. We got about a minute or two. What's going to happen across the street? Is Ronna Romney, is she going to step down graciously and humbly and turn this over to people like yourself? By the way, my phone's been blown up the whole time. They want Patti to run to replace Ronna. Does that sound like a good idea?
Oh my! I make enough people mad enough as it is, Steve. I don't know I'm not privy to what's going to happen. But I know that our party cannot and will not recover until we get new leadership that gives our grassroots confidence in what we're doing. We don't have that leadership now. The profligate spending, the wasteful spending, the giving contracts to, rich consultant friends so they can get richer, all that kind of stuff. We have no place for that, not in our party. It's the Democrats that are supposed to be corrupt, not our party. Segal Chana, who was on fire this morning with you, your wonderful Nevada committee woman, she's introduced a resolution that would require the chairwoman to cut expenses significantly.
Is that going to pass?
Every month. Well, let me tell you, I'm actually one of 8 people on the resolutions committee. I'm going to fight like crazy for that.
Amen.
If the resolutions committee decides to kill it, we're going to know who kills it, and it's going to be talked about.
Patti, thank you for coming. Social media, how do people follow you? Website?
I am Patti Lyman, RNC National Committee Woman for Virginia on Facebook, and Patti for Virginia, PattiForVA.com. You can go to my website. I am running for re-election this year.
Amen.
I have a bunch of people with the long knives that don't like conservatives, and they don't want me here anymore.
Okay. We give it up for Patti.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And that was at Turning Point USA.
Yes, over there in Vegas.
Yeah.
They're in Las Vegas this week, live from Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. So we're all excited about that. But, you know, the Republican National Committee, what they're meeting about also is, and they're very, very upset that the RNC is considering a plan to open a line of credit to compensate for a shortfall from the projected fundraising levels.
Wow.
The RNC will take up this issue at their winter meeting, which we've been talking about in Las Vegas. Their money problems with big dollar donators, like you said, has been a concern. They're going to ask the members to take a vote on opening up a line of credit, which would allow the RNC to borrow money. Now, they say that this isn't the first time that's happened, that it's happened before. They said that it's not, and that an authorization for more credit is done every year in case the money is needed and whether they use it or not, according to the outlet. I think that right there is just an out for them.
Yes.
You know, oh, hey, you know, we do this every year, but I don't remember hearing about this every year. Do you?
No. But it probably did happen, and it
probably
happened
has
under
happened.
the radar. They didn't report it. I mean, to the news or to the public.
Right. Well, with the RNC being low of cash, they don't even think this line of credit would work. I mean, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to get us through the 2024 election.
And you know what's crazy with the DNC and the RNC both being national parties, even in contrast, like I pointed out about the DNC having twice as much cash on hand, that's still not a lot of money either side.
No, it's not. I think that the Democrats are kind of down. If
Yeah.
we really went back and looked at their year over
Why,
year.
sure they are.
But I have my own thoughts on how the Democrats do things. I personally think they get PAC money, and I personally think they cheat when they put their money in there. I'm not going to get into that now. Maybe one day we will discuss the DNC and their problems because they have a lot
Yeah.
as well. But if you see anywhere where it says WinRed, WINRED, that they ask you to vote, you know, they send out these texts and all that, and then it goes to WinRed, vote here. That's the RNC. Do not vote. Do not send your money to WinRed.
Well, and that's what I was going to bring up here too. When you talked about the donors, you know, donating to the PACs and the big money donors. This article here says that donors have not cut as many large checks to the RNC in recent years, and the party's small dollar program has also suffered, according to people familiar with the party's finances. Some donors aren't giving to the RNC because they think that it will help Trump, which they don't want to do. These people said, while others have said they prefer to wait until 2024 to give. Some have grown frustrated with the party's leadership. People close to major donors said. The party cut certain expenditures this year after projected money did not come in, according to people familiar with the decisions. And that's kind of interesting that on October the 30th, they claim that they've cut expenditures, but now right here you see Patti Lyman says you haven't cut expenditures.
Right.
You know, and now we have to propose a rule to come in that you'll do this.
I know. You know, it's like common sense has gone out the window anymore. You've got to make a rule or a law for every common sense thing.
Right.
Anymore. It is common sense to get your house in order and to pay your bills and to cut back if you don't have the money. I have to do it in my life. Our jobs got cut. We would have to cut back. on expenses.
Anybody's.
Anybody would.
Yeah.
You know? So why not the RNC? Why do we have to make a rule? Why can't you just do common sense things? What do you think about that? Is this thing working?
Rise up.
What do you think about that? Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.